Hey, what's up, everybody? Your boy JC. Everyday Thoughts is in the building. Everybody gather around. Y'all know what time it is. And special guest to me tonight, Miss BB. So everybody gather around. Tonight's topic is monogamy natural? Um, so everybody gather around. Hope everybody's having a good, blessed day. And yeah, let's go and chop it up. The host JC's in the building tonight. What's going on, Theresa, Mario? What's up, Mario? How you doing? What's going on, Connie? What's going on, Angela? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm trying to add you on, but it won't let me add you on, BB. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on, Anthony? Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
What's going on with you? How you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored.
Awesome. Hey,
All right.
everybody.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? So yeah, so the nice topic is monogamy, realistic or natural. What's your take on it?
Uh, this is a really good topic. Let me hear what you got to say first.
You wanna? Okay.
First
For
and
me, I feel like
foremost, yeah, let's go back and retract. Jonathan, thanks for inviting me on to this live feed tonight. And just wanted to get a little bit of your background. And so some of the people that's chiming in for on my end, they might not know who you are. Just introduce yourself if you
now,
don't mind.
I want to introduce myself to my own live. Okay, that's what's up. But now,
Yeah.
JC, everyday thoughts. I really make provoking comments, provoking videos, provoking statements, and like I said, just trying to bring around peace. Trying to uplift men, uplift women, etc. And just want a better place to leave before I leave this earth. That's my goal, it's my mission, that's my principle.
That's
What's
awesome.
going on, Courtney?
And
Well,
just for
introduce yourself
and
to.
for your yeah, just for your followers, I'm Brandi, also known as BB Trinette. I have a radio talk show on my radio Chicago Saturday mornings. You can download that app or just go to supportdistrictradio.com. But I want to thank Jonathan JC for having me on here. It's really an honor to just be able to chop it up and be able to go back and forth with you because we do this all the time, but to be able to do it and have other people's thought process enter this, I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you. You was administrator at one of the famous groups I used to be in. Like I said,
Yeah.
I appreciate how you ran the business, how you ran the group, etc. I'm no longer in the group, but hey, it's all good. I appreciate everybody that was in the group. But
Yeah.
you know, stuff happens, but you gotta move on, learn from experiences. I met a lot of people from the group, but you know, stuff happens, but move on. What's going on, Megan, Kimberly, Yvonne? How's everybody doing tonight? But for me, for monogamy, I feel like that's the only way for me. I don't believe in having multiple women, even as like a side chick, etc. I just believe in just having one woman, just one woman to call for me,
Mhm.
call home for me. I don't believe in having side chicks or having multiple women, etc. So I don't really believe. I mean, that's just not for me. But to each his own. I'm not a person that's gonna sit there and judge other people's lifestyle. They want to have you know people. They want to promote polygamy, or polyandra. That's their thing.
Polyamory.
But yeah,
Polyamory.
polyamory. Like I said, like I said, that's their business. But for me, monogamy has always been my thing.
Yeah.
But what's your take on it?
I of course, I feel like to each his own. I do believe that there are certain levels to it. Um, but for me, um, I believe in monogamy, but I also believe that it's a discipline practiced by human beings. I don't believe that it necessarily comes from just a natural state. I believe that it's nature and nurture. And so that there are certain elements that can create in an environment where somebody believes in polygamy or polyamory, and then there's that other side of the pendulum that can swing towards people being totally monogamous. But at the end of the day, I definitely believe that monogamy is something that is a practice discipline.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be practiced. You got to be disciplined, especially being a man, being a woman. Like you guys have your own urges, etc. But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
it all comes down to self control, self discipline, having self respect for your partner. I did like a live
Absolutely.
yesterday about about like if a man cheats, can he still love that woman? I was saying he can love that woman, but he's not going to be in love with that woman if he go outside his marriage and go out there and cheat on the woman. So that was my take. But what's your take on that? As far as
Uh,
can a man,
you
can a
know what?
woman love that person fully,
I believe
but they're still with someone else?
I personally believe that someone can be have love for someone or be in love with someone and still manage to not discipline themselves physically. And depending on how that other mate handles the situation, I believe that that's what the key was to losing that love, is that ultimately if you accept that kind of behavior and you continue to be with someone that you know that, because let's just break that down here, someone's cheating on you, right? That's going behind your
Yeah,
back doing so. You'll find that a lot of women will say that it's not the cheating itself that really got to me or that really hurt me. It's the
lying.
moves that were made to line
Yeah,
up, and the pre-cheating. And I know you've heard that term because we started using that word in the group after a while, that pre-cheating that takes
yeah,
place in order to get to that spot. So sometimes the actual act, because we're all humans, we're all physical beings, so that I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be disciplined, because as humans we are supposed to be the ones that are on top of the food chain. Like, seriously, your thought process should not be so primitive. Uh-oh.
we good, we good,
We
we good, we
shaking the
good.
room. We shake. Let me shake
Oh no, we good, we good, we good. I'm fine. We good. I'm fine.
back. But we shouldn't be so primitive to the point where we just running around humping on everything we see, you know. So we do look for, and I believe that at the end of the day, cheating is an act that comes out of a certain level of disrespect. It's a certain level of disrespect that takes place, not because you can't control yourself, but you don't respect me enough to understand what you're putting at risk. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
That's it.
fine. I
That's
don't
what I
want to.
got.
No, but I'm saying though, yeah, like I said,
Don't
I'm
get
gonna
me
have
to
more respect
preaching
for
up in
you.
here.
No, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
sit
because
up there.
what
I'm
do
gonna
I
sit up
know?
there. No, like I said, man, I do appreciate you and stuff. What I just want to say is
Yeah.
that like I said, cheating is way before the physical act. It's hiding phones, hiding voicemails,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Just talking inappropriately. Like if it's something that you're not gonna do in front of your mate, you shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
When they're not around you and stuff. You should be able to have each other's phone. I don't know about password, but y'all should be able to have each other's information, and nothing should be able to, no kind of worries or okay, I may not, I gotta hide something, I gotta erase it, X, Y, Z. Like everything should just be naturally flowing. And also too, as far as certain people you're following, certain people you're lusting over, or you're following on Instagram, on Facebook, etc. You was a single man and looking at a whole bunch of women, half naked, then you start a relationship, that may not be what you want to do. You might want to cut down,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them pages that you were looking at, and because that might be respectful, that might be disrespectful to your wife or to your girlfriend, etc. You know, so it's all about level of respect. You don't want that person to disrespect you, so why do that to another person? You know.
Yeah, I agree. I've had certain instances. And of course, without it being said, I'm gonna go and put my scenarios out there without saying names. But you know, I've had several instances where that guys approach me, and you know, on social media, it is portrayed that they absolutely are head over heels in love with their mate. They're always together. They out here, you know, they just that power couple, whether they married or not, and they will be all the way in someone's inbox, like totally pursuing them on a regular basis. And I feel like that level of pre-cheating is so despicable at times, because it's like you really don't know somebody. You know, you really have, when you think you know people, you really don't know them. And honestly, I believe that cheating and things of that nature comes from a core inner belief. It's what that person's philosophy is when it comes to cheating. I think that that's what drives people to do what they do in the first place. Your inner core beliefs and your philosophies about life and how your outlooks are. Because if you grew up in a household where it was being preached, oh, I can look as long as I don't touch. You know what I mean? Oh, it's nothing wrong with looking as long as I don't touch. And then you take it a step further. It's like, okay, well, it ain't nothing wrong with me having friends. You know, I can have friends. Ain't nothing wrong with having friends. And then you and that friend chit chatting back and forth, and y'all friendly, and you start telling the friend stuff, secret things that you don't tell other people, including your mate. That's pre-cheating. And I'm not here to say that, you know, I'm not perfect by no stretch of the imagination at all. So anything that I come on here and that I talk about is because I experienced it, and it's because it's something that I practice. I don't date men who outrightly are in either really structured relationships, long-term relationships, and I don't date men that are married. You know, it's just that, but that's just me. I don't judge anybody. I don't judge the next woman that does it. I don't judge the woman that cheats on her man. That's her business. That has nothing to do with me. So, you know, I really want to hear, to get some of this feedback of some of the individuals watching. I see y'all. I see you. Hey, Shelly. Let me go back. I see. Hey, Berlin. Hey, April. You guys are watching, and we want to hear your thoughts on. Do you believe that we are monogamous at nature? Do you believe that monogamy is natural to us as men and women? Let's hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, let me read some of these comments. Campbell said, "Won't be able to stay tonight because I'm very tired. I respect and agree with their point. It helps with healthy lifestyle as well as self-respect and also respect for your partner." What's going on, Lakeisha, Christy, Lacey, there's Covington. Veronica said, "Yes, I'm not the only one. We got a problem, homie. It's my birthday." Oh, hey, happy birthday, Veronica. But yeah, though, like just like you were saying earlier about having friends, you know, of the opposite sex. Is that a turn off for you, or is that allowed? What's your take on it? Well,
I'm all for living a normal life. See, my mate is just to add to what my life is already about. And my life
yeah,
already is about other men and women. I don't discriminate when it comes to friendships on a platonic level. I don't. You know, I'm out here building. I meet people every day, and just because somebody is a man, I'm not going to say, oh, I can't be friends with you. But there are limits. You have to know your limits. That's the thing. There are certain boundaries that cannot be crossed when you have. I'll give you an example. I have a couple of best friends, right? And some of them are male, but they have significant others. One of them is in a long term committed relationship, And the other one is married now at this point. We went to college together. That's my ace boon coon. But I respect boundaries. I'm not about to be sitting up calling. I don't care how devastating something happened in my life. I'm not finna call him after 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be inboxing and texting him when he's spending time with his family, because that's disrespectful. And see, that's the problem. A lot of people don't set those boundaries. And that's why folks get insecure. See, sometimes it's not so much about being insecure. Your mate can actually facilitate you being insecure. You know what I mean? They could actually instigate and put you in an environment that makes you feel you could be the most secure person on the planet. But if every time I look up, we having our cuddle time watching a movie, and you hop up to go answer the phone for Susie because she having one of her mental breakdowns, and it's your bestie, I got a problem with that. Because what about my mental breakdown that we just was at the plot of the movie that we just decided to watch? And we just went back and forth for 10 minutes trying to figure out what movie we was going to watch. 40 minutes later, Susie come calling, and now Susie needs your attention. That's disrespectful. So people need to know their boundaries. And I think that's the issue when it comes to men and women having insecurities about having same-sex friendships and opposite-sex friendships all the time. What's your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I mean, but my thoughts. I mean, my take is basically, like I said, you got to have boundaries, men and women. Like I said, I'm not going to be the type of person to sit here and control you. Oh, you can't be friends. Especially y'all was cool way before I was in the picture. That's cool, but everything got to be platonic. No kind of sexual talk. If it does happen, you bring it up to me, and if it happens again, then that's it. You know, there's no. I have my own boundary, my own limits that I take. So,
Well, let me
very.
ask you this, JC, because you seem like that type. So, and I'm not trying to put any type of stigma on you or
Oh no, you
anything
good.
like
I'm
that.
very. No,
But
that's why I'm very laid
how do
back.
you
So,
feel how do you feel about your significant other having male friends? Like, if she got a male best friend, is she even a candidate to be your mate?
oh no, I mean that's cool. I mean, as long as I'm cool with them, and like I said, we get brothers. Like we brothers. We can talk about sports. We can talk about video games. It don't. We just anything like we cool. As long as we cool together, that's fine. You know. And as long as
Mm-hmm.
there's a boundary, as long as she has respect for the relationship, as long as he has respect for the relationship, then that's fine. You know, it's not gonna be like, well, you're like my brother. When Jonathan's messing, I'm gonna come call you and tell you what he's doing. Like, nah, none of that stuff. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
just it's always got kind of boundaries. You know, I'm not gonna really convince you because I'm not the type of person to be all controlling and stuff. You know, like I said, I trust you from a distance. You know.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
cool.
for
As
me,
long as we cool together, we vibe, that's cool. You know, I'm not very controlling or, you know, no, don't see
absolutely,
him
because
now. Real laid back, you know.
mm-hmm.
I think I find something that, hey, you know, I know when to let go. So, like I said, you can have your freedom, but I find something out, then that's it. You know, you lied to me, manipulate me. That's what she already gonna know from Jump Street what I'm all about. You know, just like the job
Mm-hmm.
tells you what the principles are, the rules, what time you go to lunch, the time you leave. I'm not going to keep going back and forth. There's some negotiable, there's some non-negotiable. So kind of the same way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know people that don't really have any kind of structure, and they just say let it flow naturally, in their relationship. I know that there are some people that don't look at cheating as a deal breaker because their views and their beliefs about monogamy might not be the same thing. For I did even go through a while, maybe in my early 20s, where I felt like monogamy wasn't necessarily a deal breaker because I felt like men, particularly, and I want to shake this up. Particularly, I
Uh-oh.
felt like men aren't monogamous creatures. I definitely believe that women carry a little bit more of the responsibility of being monogamous simply because of the way that our bodies are created. So with a man, he's able, when he's sowing his seeds, he has multiple seeds, right? But when a woman is conceiving a baby, she has one egg, maybe two that might drop down at the same time. So there's a reason why that is biologically. She can't carry multiple babies at one time, because if that was the case, then we would have something totally different going on. But a man can go ahead and spread his seeds in multiple places. There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? So for that, what I'm saying is that biologically speaking, I don't believe that men were ultimately designed for monogamy. I think that it takes a little bit more of a discipline. And not only that, you guys aren't groomed to be monogamous growing up. Women are, from the moment that we start playing with toys, what are we picking up? A doll. What is that doll doing? We either taking care of that baby, and then we might mature into talking about Barbies and setting the scenes, because I played with Barbies way until I was like 12 years old. So you had your whole little soap opera going on with Barbie and them. And you had Barbie, and then I even paid attention when I had a daughter myself and she started playing with Barbies. I always thought it was interesting how Barbie has all these product lines and several Barbies, but then it might be like two, maybe one or two Ken dolls to choose from. You ever paid attention to that?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I saw that.
psychological thing. That's on purpose. You know what I mean? So it's embedded in us that it's okay to share a man, but it's not okay for a woman to have multiple men. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really go with the whole double standard. You know, a man can go around, sleep around. He can have multiple women, but the woman's not supposed to. I mean, it's out there, but I always
Mm-hmm.
just feel everybody's supposed to be equal. If you can't have multiple men, then I'm not supposed to have multiple women, and vice versa. But like I said, it all going down to your core values, what y'all both principles are, and what that man or woman's upbringing is, and what their beliefs are. Because some women, they want to be multiple men. Some men want to be with just one woman. You know, it all depends on the
Mm-hmm.
individual that's talking
I
or
believe.
speaking that.
I believe that men have to get to a point where he decides to be disciplined enough to want one woman. I don't believe that
Well,
that's
yeah,
just something that comes out of the blue. I think he either has to go through a series of things in order to come to that conclusion, or it was already embedded through his nurturing, meaning that he watched a couple, his mother and father, grow together, or maybe his grandmother and his grandfather, or somebody that was really close to him that he respected, and he was inspired by that particular lifestyle. Other than that, society is telling men that it is okay to have multiple women, and that woman is supposed to accept him no matter what. She's supposed to be, get a little crazy, might do something crazy. Every movie we watch, every rom-com, it is the woman flips out or something. She's slashing tires. She's throwing some kind of brick through his window, and then at the end of the day, what do you see? Them get back together. That's what they do, and that's what society tells us we need to do. But I feel like only until a man has came to a certain level of maturity and he has certain things in place, that is no longer an option. Meaning that playing around and polygamy stuff. I think that a lot of times that playing around and stuff comes from a certain insecurity in that man within himself. Maybe he isn't stable, on the job side of things. So he doesn't feel like he would be able to support a woman and raise a family. So with that, I don't have time to focus on that. But in the meantime, I still got my physical needs. So let me get my needs met, and still try to go out here and get this paper. You feel me? And
yeah,
then there's that other level where it's like, okay, I finally achieved what I needed to achieve career wise. Now I'm looking at that one woman. Now I'm looking to see who I can settle down with and I can share this with, because now I have something to share. and now I'm able to build with somebody, and I want to build with somebody. But then you have men that never come to that conclusion. They might have a paper, and they might already be secure within themselves, and they just like doing what they do. They just like they single lifestyle. And quite frankly, I think that for men that are like that, the best policy is to always be honest with women. And I think that that's sometimes what happens when it comes to men women relationships, is that women too, that a lot of times people aren't honest. They're not upfront about what their lifestyle choices are, because a woman could easily say, hey, I'm polygamy, I believe in being polyamorous, but don't tell that one guy that she really like that's what her lifestyle is about, and then he got to find out through other linkages, through social media or something like that. You know, I'm not sitting here and I'm not about to bash men. Women do stuff too. So, you know, let's see what I'm looking at some of these comments. Do you want to read some of the comments here?
Yeah. I read some. Jamaica said never heard that theory before about men not being designed for monogamy. From a logical standpoint, interesting. Um,
Yeah.
Yvonne said you know
Yeah.
how to keep the boundaries. Maya said they don't like commitment. I mean, I don't. I mean, I
uh
feel like no, go on.
I don't think that people don't like commitment. I believe that a lot of people are afraid of commitment. I think that they've seen or watched through a bird's eye view, or being a fly on the wall with somebody else who tried their hand at the whole commitment thing and it didn't work out. Or maybe they did at one point in time try to shoot their shot at being committed, and then they got their heart broken. Um, I believe that sometimes our baggage kind of puts a blockage up. And see, to me, that's what relationships is about. It's about finding that one person where you comfortable enough with taking all that baggage you got, because I believe everybody got baggage, whether they got kids or not. I believe everybody got emotional baggage. It's about taking
Yeah,
that
it's either you're
baggage
gonna have
and being and putting it on the table, and y'all sorting it out together. That's what that's about. To me, that's what relationships really come down to, when it comes to being able to live as a cohesive unit with each other. Putting that baggage out there on the table and really sorting it out together, getting all those skeletons out the closet. I ain't saying you gotta tell and divulge everything, because sometimes a lady keeps her secrets. But on the other end of that, and you know, men have their things that they gonna take to the grave with them too. But the main things that would come up over and over again, and as adults, we should be aware of what would come up. It should be something that's put out there on the table, and it needs to be expressed, and it needs to be talked about in an honest, loving way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right about that. You know, but one thing about men is that you gotta ask yourself a question: is why do you think that you need multiple women? Why don't you think just one woman is enough for you? You know, like I gotta have a side chick, I gotta have a main wife, I gotta have multiple wives. Like, why do I feel like I need that in my life? Do I not just want peace? Or do I not just want to come home to my wife, my kids, help raise them, help build a structure, build a legacy? You know, continue my family legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Or why do I need to have multiple women? Like that's the thing I always ask myself. You know, yeah, like I said, you see it on
Um,
TV, you see it in the media, but it's like, why do I need to adapt to that situation? You know, why can't I just be complete with just one person? You know?
um, I believe that it comes down. I don't think that's honestly, I don't believe that it's that deep sometimes. I think that it's just sometimes people have a voracious sexual appetite, period. It's just that simple. I don't think that it's a whole lot of thought that goes into um, cheating for some folks. I think that it's just, ooh, that looks good. I wonder what that's like. Let me try that. You know what I mean? And
I mean,
then
my thing,
they go after it, and it might take about 2 weeks. They get it, and then it's like, okay, let me go back home to my mate, you know, and like nothing ever happened. And they hope that they just don't catch the backlash from it all. And so
but see
yeah.
the problem. mean, the problem with that is, I mean, you could potentially be a part of the disease, unwanted baby, etc. So, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
you love that person, you got, you're gonna have enough respect for that person and dignity not to go out there and cheat. Y'all gonna be able to talk it out, work it out, and not thinking that you go on and please your flesh for a good 10 to 15, 20 minutes is going to change things because your issues are still going to be within the side of that relationship. You still got to manage the situation. That's what I think a lot of guys, I think some women too, they feel to realize is managing the situation.
I I I understand. I agree too, but I'm just open minded always to other people's views, and I have met some of my close friends, they don't believe in monogamy. They don't believe that we are put here just for one person. They live lives in a sense where there are other people that are involved as a village, as a cohesive unit to create harmony amongst each other. And I can't do anything but respect that. That's not something that I would choose for myself. But there are folks that just believe that, particularly men, and I'm gonna say it again, particularly men do not believe that they are here to be monogamous.
I mean, it might
Come
just be
on
a
now,
lust.
JC. You ain't never ran into any men that preach of this, and very spiritual brothers, by the way. Might I add? I have ran
It's
into
enough in
some
the eye
quite
though, like it's a
spiritually
flesh.
enlightened
Of course you
men
gonna want,
that.
but it's like, do I really want to sacrifice? Really want to give what I got at home for this quick piece
Hmm.
and lose everything? Potentially lose everything. Is it really worth it? You
Yeah,
know.
I agree. I believe that it's about finding your type
But
though,
that's my thing though.
because
Like, I
it.
mean, what I was gonna say is like, why not just be like, okay, well, open relationships or some kind of relationship where it's open. Okay, well, I can sleep around too, but at the same time, she be like, well, I want to sleep around too, but then at the same time, it's like, what is this, a
I don't
relationship
think
or marriage
anybody
or open
just says,
relationship?
"Hey, I want to sleep around." I don't even think
Not so
that
much
that's
that
like a
like
thing.
no, I mean I look at it like if you I'm looking at it like you still have the itch, you know what I'm saying? You still wanna have other women and stuff, or you miss your player stage, your max stage, and you wanna like, you wanna be with a whole bunch of women. I mean that's fine, that's cool, that's what you want. I'm just saying why sit up there and, say I do and make a vows to each other, then go out there and cheat and potentially get somebody pregnant or bring home a disease. Why not just be honest from the jump? And you just let her know
I
that you
agree.
wasn't ready. You know, I'm not ready
I
for
agree.
commitment.
Or,
It doesn't mean you left with a man because you being honest with that woman. You know, yeah, I'm gonna want
hmm
you, but yeah, I'm gonna want other women too. That's just how it is. I'd rather be honest with you, let you know right now, than be go behind your back and stuff. So, I'm giving you the choice. The ball
hmm
in your court, either you accept it or not. But I'm giving you that choice
what?
to accept. You know.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what I mean, and I agree with you. The problem is that people aren't honest with themselves a lot of times when it comes to whether or not they believe in being monogamous. It's just that simple. A lot of times folks they won't be realistic with what their beliefs are. Like there are some people out here that don't believe in being monogamous for themselves, but they want their mates to totally be monogamous to them. You feel me? So they can have two or three mates, but they want all those mates to be monogamous to them. So that's how they move
Hmm.
around out here. And to avoid saying that, having that honest conversation and saying, look, baby, I'm not just a one woman kind of man. I actually feel like it's enough for me to share with two or three women. And so with that being said, because when you put that out there on the table, now you're allowing someone to have a choice on whether they want to ride with that, and they say, okay, well, I honestly I could be down with that. Or you giving them the choice to say, okay, well, if that's what you want, then I agree. I'm not that kind of way either. So let me go and go give Marvin a call back. You know what I mean? So I don't think it, especially men, I don't think no man is willing to face that level from their woman. They want their woman to be monogamous. And then they okay with doing what they want to do. And I hear that term over and over again, that old slogan, having your cake and eating it too. And so some folks just want, and I think that that's the root from all that playing the games and the line and stuff, because they want the woman. Because think about it like this, JC. Like if I could get a nice wholesome girl, like say if I'm a man and I could get me a nice wholesome girl that I know don't sleep around, that mean that the chances are, because you never know with anybody what their status is, you know, in terms of diseases and anything like that, unless y'all go to the doctor. But say y'all went to the doctor, everybody cool, right? But I got this nice wholesome girl, I know she only giving it up to me, okay? Why on earth would I risk telling her that I don't feel like I'm a monogamous creature? Why would I tell
Because
her
you,
that at risk that she might walk away because she don't agree with that lifestyle? She might say, you know what, nah, that's some garbage. I don't believe
okay,
that. I think you full of crap. So I'm gone. But he want to keep that
okay.
because that's squeaky clean. You feel me? So what he gonna do? He gonna lie about it. He
It's
gonna
about
finagle the
no, a man's not gonna
situation.
sit there and lie. A man has honor and integrity. He's gonna tell you like, look, look, if I just want to have sleep around, I just want to have a whole bunch of women, then that's what it is. Either you cool with it or you're not. I'd rather let you know right now what the deal is. I ain't gonna sit there and try to backdoor you and pretend I'm trying to be relationship or trying to be monogamous, and I know I want other women. Like, why would I do that?
And I
Why?
agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
That's
And
what
you
I'm saying.
you
A
know
man has
you
integrity. He has honor. He's not gonna sit there and
uh-huh.
lie to you about his intentions. Like, oh well, I
Exactly.
want to be monogamous. I just want to be with you. No, I want to be with other
Well,
women too.
and
Cool or
you're
not.
right. And you're right. And in an ideal environment, that's how it's supposed to go. But what happens more often than not? What happens more
He
often than
lying. He
not?
being deceitful. Then that's when you see the woman overreact and break his car shell doors and coming up to his job and all kind of handies because he wasn't real from the jump. And a lot of women, they can respect the man that was honest with them up front, that told her what it was, not what it can be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women, they, like I say, just be honest with me. You could have just told me, like, look, you just wanted sex. You could have told me that. Why you got to sit there, take me all these dates and stuff, trying to sell me a dream and, you know, have my emotions up? Like, why not
Mm-hmm.
just let me know? Like, look, I was just trying to smash. Like, why not just be honest with me?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It ain't so
That's
much
true. What do
it's the lying that really get to a lot of women.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It's not so much of the act, the physical act. A lot of times it just really comes down to the betrayal, the lying, the going out of your way lies, volunteering lies when I ain't asked you stuff. The setup of it all. And so I think that that's really the most hurtful thing about it, because I mean, as adults, nobody, I don't think, is keeping count on who's sleeping with who, as long as you doing things safely and you go get your checkups. So that can be, that the act can be, uh you can work past the actual act. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that a lot of times we gotta sleep with one eye open. Now we don't trust you when you say you just going to the store. Now we don't trust you when you say, "Oh, I'm just going out for a couple of hours with my boys, and we gonna go have a couple of beers and sit there and watch the game." Now I'm trying to figure out if it's some women at that sports bar too. You know what I mean? So it's not so much the act, it's now I have to keep an eye on you, because you as a man don't know how to be honest and of your word. And I think that's what irritates women the most, and that's what's so hurtful. Now, yes, women should just walk away. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, women should, if cheating is a deal breaker to a woman, and I'm gonna just say this, because I think it's important to be said, because we have such a hard time with this whole topic comes up over and over again, especially that group that we spoke of earlier. It used to come up a lot, all the time, because it's the primary basis. So let me just say this to women: if a cheater or if you know your man is being unfaithful, or if someone is not being faithful to you, and you know that in your heart that that's a deal breaker, why is it so hard to walk away? You know what I mean? Like, why do you tolerate it and then you want to complain about it? See, that's one thing that I don't agree with. I don't agree with the woman that will sit up and complain about her man doing the most, complain about him not coming home at night, will complain about him cheating and not being monogamous, and she know that being like that is a deal breaker for her. Why doesn't she walk away? That's where I have a problem with my sisters not being able to identify themselves and having standards, and being that type of person and saying, you know what, this is not what I signed up for, I'm out, and like meaning it. I don't care how many buckets of flowers is being sent. I don't care if you got the piano man. I don't care if you bring Brian McKnight to my doorstep to beg me back. If I know that you a cheater out here and you moving in the streets in a way that's not with integrity, I have a problem with that, because now I don't trust you. And for me, and I don't know about other women, but my trust, and I was talking to a girlfriend the other night, my trust is directly attached to my vagina. If I don't trust you, I'm not opening my legs. So I don't understand how, if that trust is gone, how are you continuously, is it because is it love? Is it still love after that? If you don't trust
It's
somebody,
lust. I feel like it's
you don't
lust. It's
respect
lust.
them,
Yeah, that's what I'm
right?
saying. He gonna keep
So
doing
so
it. So
what
you
is it?
know, it's more so lust. It's lust. Are you still attached to him? Still have that soul tie towards him,
Mhm.
or whatever reason
Mhm.
you feel like he
And
gonna change.
soul
Yeah,
ties can be
you know.
untied. They really can. You got to pray on that stuff. You got to ask him specifically to remove that soul tie. And trust me when I tell you, he will. He will. Because he is powerful. And I'm not finna go into all of that spiritual stuff. You know how I can, but I'm not going to do that. Because I know certain different people have different beliefs. But if you got a soul tie, all you got to do is pray for him to take it away. You know what I mean? And slowly but surely you will heal and you'll move on. You know. Um, eh, I really want to get to some of these comments. I see a lot of
Yeah, me
paragraphs
too.
coming up.
Me too. You want to go or you want to go?
Hey Darius. Yeah, let me read something. Mr. Jamia says, Mr. Integrity and Mr. Honor, they not walking around out here these days. BB is speaking the truth. No, they not. She right. They not. You kind
Yeah,
of
they
got,
ain't
honestly,
they ain't
ladies.
JC, so I
Ladies,
don't
we
know.
gotta.
Of course,
I know a lot of folks ain't talk.
y'all ain't ran the JC, so yeah,
Yeah, I hear women always saying they
for
don't
sure.
want to build a man. It's a difference between building a man and shaping him. Just because he come out the woods on you as a caveman, he don't have to end up that way. And sometimes it's up to us to help be able to groom that man into being the type of man that he needs to be for you. I've seen that happen a lot on a lot of cases too. These men that's went married out here, they didn't start off like that. They started off cavemen. You know what I'm saying? Wearing the same outfits 2-3 days in a row, watching sports all the time and stuff. They had to get a little groom. And it goes on the inside and outside. Let me go to Aquila. Oh, hey Mitchell. All the way from Vegas. I love Vegas, y'all. But anyway, Aquila said most men never say they have other women. They juggle women in relationships. That's true. Um, that is true. Steven, hey Steve, I ain't seen Steve in a while. Steve from the group. Hey, he said monogamy I believe to be a natural process, but it depends on the age group. I believe that too. I think that it's a level of maturity, not so much the age itself, because age ain't nothing but a number. We didn't all learn that lesson these days. But I believe that with age comes a certain level of enlightenment and maturity. Roger said, "Oh, hey Tamika. Roger Keith Jordan says, this queen is intelligent. Oh, thank you. Society needs to get together and cut the shit. Honest. I'm blatantly honest now, as opposed to my 20s. You get in these trying relationships and it gets hard and you feel distant, but you don't know how to communicate. Also, when you're lacking, but someone is offering. Okay, that's something else we need to talk about. Stephen came back and said the problem is that I hear all the time. You should get married, and most of the time, this is what we are telling many young people who have not settled down and are not ready for marriage. Come on now, Pearlisha. Come on with it. Yes, girl. Hey, Tanja. And Crystal says hey, Crystal. She says some women think that it's hard, that it's the best they can do and need self-validation. And you're right. Let me tell you something. One of the best things of advice, and I don't mean to be just, running off at the mouth here, JC, but one of the
Oh,
best
you
pieces of advice came from my sister one time. My sister is younger than me, but we like peas in a pod, but she's been married for over 10 years at this point and been with her mate over 15. And one of the things that she told me at one point in time, and watch this, y'all. She said, you cannot be afraid for a man to walk away. You can't be afraid. The minute that he know that you're afraid, he gonna do whatever he has the power. And walk away, that usually triggers something in our mind. And I'm moving forward from that quote from her. Thank you, Day. But what I'm saying is that with that particular quote, moving away from that, is that if he has in his mindset, oh man, this lady, she really loved me. She down for the cause no matter what I do. Ultimately, because she afraid that I'm gonna walk away, and he might not it might not process in his mind those words per se, but that's what's being communicated in a woman's actions. That's what's being communicated in her spirit, that she's afraid that he gonna walk away. So she doing what she doing more of it. She pulling. She constantly trying to pull him in, pull him more, doing more mothering. You need this, babe. You need that. Trying to be the best thing she could be for that man. Scared he gonna walk away, and guess what? He's still gonna do whatever it is he gonna do. And a lot of times that comes down to not knowing what you want as a woman. That's what I believe. Sometimes we do that stuff to ourselves because we don't even know what we want. So we'll tolerate whatever. I know you done heard that line, if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. It's the same thing in relationships. If we don't know what we want, we'll just take anything. Excuse me, we'll take anything. What's your thoughts on that, JC?
I mean, you gotta have your own standards. You gotta have your own core values, your negotiables, your non-negotiables, and you gotta understand that you are worth a lot. Like I said, don't sit there and settle. If you want to be married, don't have no man sit there and string you along. You want monogamy. That's what you want. You want him to cheat. There's nothing you can do to stop him from cheating, but there can be a way that you can react and just leave the situation alone and just let him know, like, look, I'm drama free. I don't want any kind of drama. I'm not gonna deal with you cheating, lying, being manipulative, and just let that person know up front. And he crosses the road, then that's it. Just like if he goes to his job with the employer, they give him the assignment, it's not done correctly, then guess what? The company, what do they do? They fire him. So you gotta have the same kind of
They
principle,
separate themselves from them.
the same
Exactly.
kind of core value. It's like it don't make any sense. You go out there, you respect your company, treat your boss with respect and, follow the rules at work, but come down to your mate, you feel like you can just be, half-assed, you can just do what you want to do. No, it don't work that way, You should have more respect in a company. Company, there is no loyalty, You can be here today, gone tomorrow, but your mate should be
Yeah,
somebody
that's
you
true.
feel sacred to you, You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my take, though.
Yeah, did we come to a conclusion about whether or not people are monogamous? I'm still looking for responses here. Do you all feel like we are naturally born monogamous? Like you come out the womb just wanting to be with one person? just having the desire, and then somewhere down the road you might get your heart crushed, and that's what make you out here, searching for another lonely soul. So is it that we're by nature interested in different individuals, and that it is a thought process, that it is a discipline to be monogamous? Because to me, even as a woman these days, I personally feel like it is a discipline to be monogamous. Now, I've never cheated on a man. I've never went, if I'm in a relationship, I'm in that relationship. Crystal say, girl, it depends on the appetizer. See what I'm saying? This day and age, um oh, I love these comments, y'all.
Yeah, you
But this
you
day
gonna
and
get a
age,
lot. Come on.
and it's a lot of men that they'll be ready to go back and forth with me about this. It's a lot of people out here these days. Women are sick of it. We sick of the men just doing stuff and not being able to just go out here and do what we want to do. Because I think a lot of times men think that that's not something that's in us. But
Women, yeah, like you said,
with
women love sex
the
too.
women's
I love. I mean,
yeah,
I would say
women
women.
have needs and we have desires and that kind of thing. And
Listen,
I believe that what's helped is that we have had women movements over the years where we don't have to hamper our sexuality anymore. We don't have to hide behind some curtain and peek out and oh me, and be all, cool, kind of shy about it. We can be upfront and we can be bold about our sexuality these days. So it's not like, we're out here just choosing to be monogamous with a guy that comes home. We gotta wash their clothes. Like, I always looked at it like this, because I'm still a single woman. I'm okay with that. But my whole thing is like, for me to get married, it has to be advantageous for both of us on all ends. Now, I'm not looking for perfection, but I'm saying, to me as a woman, I feel like I'm getting cut the less of the deal. I'm the one that has to be the one in the household nurturing for the most part. I'm not saying he not gonna do his part and we not going to split stuff 50-50 sometimes, but it's not going to be 50-50 all the time. Sometimes it's going to be 35-65. Sometimes it's going to be 85-15. Sometimes it is going to be 55-45. It's not going to always just be 50-50 down the middle, because he can't bear kids. He cannot carry a child if we decide we want to have another baby. You know what I mean? But I also don't decide, I don't decide to go out here and hustle like no man to make no ends meet either. And also, if I walked into an office and he walked into that office, 9 times out of 10, we ain't progressed to the point where he's gonna get paid the same thing I'm gonna get paid. He gonna get paid more in most cases. So let's just keep
yeah,
it
I don't do
100
that
with
either.
that. So no, society is not equal. So therefore, we're not gonna always be equal. So with that being said, I feel like it has to be advantageous for me to be married. He has to have earned me being barefoot in the kitchen all the time. He has to have earned me washing the clothes and all that stuff. I don't even like washing my own clothes half the time. Now I got an extra load of clothes to put in there. I'm being dead serious. I enjoy being my single self, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, like I said, just don't be in no damn relationship or don't be in no marriage. You still want to be single. The worst thing to do is to being married or or being in a relationship so acting single. I'm cool. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm single. Yeah, of course, I'll date. I'll be
And
around with different women, but it ain't like I'm in a relationship. So, but when I'm in a relationship, I'm
yeah.
completely monogamous.
And
I'm not
that's
saying
how
no. I'm
to
just saying don't be in no relationship or don't be in no marriage. Knowing you still want, you have the
hmm
urges, you still want to.
knowing you still won't, right, because you done had pressure from outside forces like friends and family, because you look up and all your friends and got married and everybody want
Nah,
that
don't worry about all that. Nah, nah. You gotta
that
live
cute
for you.
ceremony, but they didn't plan the marriage. I want to be with somebody
You
where
gotta
we
live
done
for you.
planned the marriage. I forget that ceremony. I go to Vegas and get hitched. I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Crystal cracking me up. She like, girl, I got whites in the washer now. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, if it's just me, I ain't gotta separate no whites. I know my clothes is not gonna bleed on each other. but his might bleed. His dark pants might bleed on the white shirts. See, I feel you, Crystal. We right there with each other. See, that's why I'm saying it's more advantageous for men to be married than women. I don't even know where that came from. That's some twisted, warped society thing that was posed upon us back in the caveman days, that it was something that we just decided it was something we really wanted. I think that it helps. You know what I mean? This day and age, it helps if you got two people in the household raising children, but it ain't necessarily advantageous to be married or advantageous to just want to just be settling down with somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's different levels to it. Let me read some of these, or do you want to read them, JC? Because we got a ton of folks chiming in. We
I mean,
appreciate
like
that.
I said, I'm not surprised. Like I said, appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Make sure y'all sharing this video. Make sure y'all checking out my YouTube channel as well too. Crystal said, I think it's a combination of lack of self-control, selfishness, and desire, flesh desire of the heart choices. If we were naturally polyamorous people, please, anyone to explain marriages that's a monogamous that lasts for decades. Yeah, I mean, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I gotta think on that. I gotta think a little bit about that one. She said
I
well,
mean,
I agree with that. I
like I
told
said, it worked.
yeah, it's a
Like I said, it worked
culmination of
back in the
lack of
day.
self-control. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is the flesh, and that's why we supposed to pray, and that's why God is supposed to be present. And here I go again. I do whoops, but I'm a Christian and I love God, so I'm gonna
I mean,
say it anyway.
same here. Same here.
When
Same
it
here.
when it come down to it, that's why God is supposed to be present in that marriage. If He not present, then that's when you open the door for all of that other stuff, like Crystal said, talking about the selfishness and desires of the flesh and desires of, making poor choices and stuff, because we let the devil in and he be in our ear and he puts stuff in front of us that's going to be naturally tempting to the flesh. So, I'm not somebody that knows the word like the back of my hand and nothing like that, but I'm very familiar. So if we was naturally polyamorous, I don't think we naturally polyamorous. I just don't believe we're naturally monogamous. With that word polyamory, first, if you know what polyamory is, that's I've had people kind of break that down to me, my polyamorous friends, that it just means that they can have enough love in themselves to share it with other people. You know what I mean? I don't think that polyamory has anything to do with sleeping with a whole bunch of people, but polyamorous people are very upfront about their needs and their desires. And it a lot of times pours on to more than one individual, and all parties have to be respectful and mindful of that particular situation. And so polyamorous don't even play no part in what we talking about, because the most that I've learned about polyamory is that people are really respectful in that community when it comes to what they want. They know what they want. And unfortunately, I think that's a lot of times what the problem is with men and women. They just don't know what they want because they haven't decided to learn enough or pay attention to themselves. Let's see. Roger said he agrees. People aren't born without an appetite, right? It takes a discipline and wisdom to do this. I'm with a woman who believes in monogamy. He says, I don't, but I train my mind. Now check this out. He say, I don't, but I train my mind to change my societal interpretation because I want her on my journey, period. That's that part. The more spiritual I become, the more powerful my big head is. Exactly. You gotta be out here working smart, not hard. Roger smart. See, that's the intelligent man right there. And Stephen says, in a true relationship and marriage, they cannot be 50-50 because these types of things rely on sacrifice. And sacrifice means someone doing more than the other person sometimes. That's right. And let me give a high five to Stephen, because that's true too. It's not going to always be 50-50 to my understanding. I mean, if somebody can come on here and say that they stuff is straight cut down the middle, then I'll be standing corrected, but I don't believe so. JC?
Yeah, someone else will be doing more than the other person. So yeah, let's say he's right about that, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, though, I mean, what
This
Roger
is
said too,
fun.
you know. I mean, what Roger said, you know, like I said, give him props. You know, you what woman you get that self discipline. You like hearing the ones that's been married, you know, 16, 20, 30 years, never cheated, never had any kind of affair. You know, like hearing those kind of stories. You know, it just means a lot,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of men that it's possible. You gotta have a lot of discipline. You gotta have like a lot of love for that person. And it really shouldn't really cross your mind. Like I said, you gotta, you know, cut out some of these apps. You gotta may have to cut off some of the porno you may be watching, or, you know, some of the Instagram models. You gotta cut some of that stuff down and just try to focus on your mate. So that's all. Like I said, I give props
Mm-hmm.
to those guys that's been married and, you know, been loving on their wives, etc. for a lot of years and raising kids and, you know, doing the good. You know, they don't get enough credit. So, you know, I do appreciate those guys. You
Yeah.
know.
Honestly, yeah, and big props to those who work hard every day at their relationships, and because it is not easy. It is work, but you do have to think of um a lot of times the everything has its pluses on on your journey, and then there are cons on your journey, and then sometimes some things might the good might weigh out the bad, and then there are other times where the bad might weigh out the good. But it just really comes down to that individual's time in their life and whether they decide they want to continue on with a particular journey, because that's one thing I learned is that you're not a tree. You can move at any time you want to. If you feel like something is not serving you and serving your children or the things that are closest or the people that's closest to you, then it's time to make a move. You don't have to be in that situation forever. But I don't believe in just walking away simply because you don't agree about some things. You know what I mean? Because people go through things in their life. Maybe somebody lost a job and it's time to change careers, and that's tough. Or maybe somebody lost a loved one, or they lost their kids, or something like that, and that's tough. And to me, that's just a test to your testimony. And I believe in love. I believe that people are supposed to work things out. And I like conversations like this because any kind of way that I can help build our communities and make things to where people are living in harmonious situations, the better. The last thing I can't stand folks to be complaining about their situation when they can change it. That's just my motto. Don't sit up and complain about happiness is a choice. It's an inside job, you know. And I think that monogamy,
Yeah,
I think that a lot of time people think that monogamy is gonna make them happy. And it don't, and
yeah. I
just
mean, but
because somebody monogamous don't necessarily mean that they gonna make you happy.
yeah, that's true. I would say you gotta have some core values. Like I said, that's why I look at you know, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Russell Wilson, etc. You know, both
Mhm.
all of them are like at the top of their careers, both making their money. You see, they got that one woman pushing them, fighting them to speaking life into them. You see Russell Wilson, highest paid NFL player. You see LeBron James, you know, about to try to be a billionaire, trying to own a team, a franchise. And you see, you
Mhm.
know, what it takes, how much power of a good woman is by your side. That's why it's just good to just focus on that one woman when you do decide just to settle down. When you're done with the player stage, you know, that's why it's important because you do see it benefiting you in all areas of your life, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you can just
Absolutely.
stay more focused
Yeah. I
on
mean.
your business, just the purpose, you know.
Mm,
You're not like, okay, I gotta be with this
right.
woman, or you got a whole bunch of kids and you gotta worry about child support, baby mama drama. It's like you can just focus on your career, your passion, focus on your kids, your family, and that's it. You know, you ain't worried about different women. I gotta schedule time with you, and I gotta miss time with you and schedule time here and there. It's like, nah, I just something I wake up, I do my job, do what I gotta do, my living, and I can just tend to my wife, my kids, etc. So down the road, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
want. But right now
Uh-huh.
I'm just having a good time.
I mean,
Enjoying the
always
freedom, enjoying the freedom.
always pay attention. This might be a testament to my growth and maturity. But back in the day, I didn't really care for a guy that was too busy for me. You know what I mean? But I believe that the man that's busy, the woman that's busy, that's who you want, because that means that they found purpose and they're
Yeah,
out here pursuing that purpose. And so you always want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals. And if you have someone in your circle that you can think of that is about their purpose, and y'all get along and you all have a friendship at the basis of everything, that you can talk to that person in confidence and you guys can share. I feel like that having that friendship at the sole base of everything is the foundation of a good relationship, and they already have purpose, and you all can sit down, and even I'm talking to myself as I'm talking with you, JC, and we can sit down together and be able to put those things and work on that relationship, moving forward, because it's always the folks that ain't that busy that's got all this time to be sleeping with a whole bunch of people. You notice that?
yeah, that's what I was
They
saying
got
too. That's
time
what I
on their
was saying
hands.
too.
They got time on
That's what
their
I was
hands
saying
to do
too.
a yeah. So
That's what I
I
was trying to say like beforehand. No,
mhm.
go on. My fault.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. No, and I'm gonna wrap it up real shortly, but for the
Oh
most
man.
part, I think I don't we could do this more often.
No,
I
no, I
really
said
don't
what I was saying.
mind.
I wanted to say something real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I fault. Like, I just wanted to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, a man that's busy, who are focused on themselves, his purpose, you're not gonna really have that much time to be dealing with a whole bunch of women. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
working like 40, 50 hours a week. You know what I mean? You only have like a whole gallon of lemonade, and it's kind of hard to keep trying to pour in different kind of, different sizes of cups and pint sized
Yep.
cups, etc. You only got time
And
really for your kids and your wife. That's it.
right.
Anything else is just extra. You barely got time to sleep. Let alone trying to deal
Mhm.
with different women, different personalities, etc. So
Exactly. And then on the flip side of that, when you're dealing with a woman that knows her purpose, she don't have time to be out here sleeping with a whole bunch of men. She actually
yeah, yeah.
knows her value, and so she not finna just be out here giving a cookie out to everybody. The thing is
Uh-oh.
that woman actually might be high hanging fruit, and the problem is sometimes the men don't necessarily want to go that little extra mile to pick at that high
Uh-oh.
hanging fruit. They better pull out
Uh-oh.
that ladder, and they also better start working on breaking down some walls, because a lot of times the women that get involved, or that they get totally involved in their work and their purpose, is because they've been ran over so many times. Their heart has been trampled over by a steamroller so many times, because they might have aspired to just have that family set up. They wanted to be married. They just wanted to be that housewife and have those kids. But they got their heart broken so much that they stopped and said, what the hell am I doing? Let me just focus on me and my goals and what I want to do out here. And maybe they put that particular dream on the back burner to pursue another dream, because guess what? Bills don't stop. Rent don't stop. Lights got to stay on. So you got to be able to secure the bag yourself. And so I just say to the men that's out here, the good men, because I believe that there's plenty of good men out here. I believe that those men need to go ahead, make themselves look fresh to death like you look. And I see you with your champion on over there,
Whoa,
JC.
whoa,
You
whoa.
get
Hey,
your
hey,
get your
hey, hey,
fly get your fly gear on, and go get your
hey.
ladder, and start picking from the high hanging fruit. Those women that you're not gonna find them at the club. They don't hang out at the club. They usually somewhere on a Saturday evening having lunch or dinner with their girlfriends somewhere. You know what I mean? They
Uh-oh.
doing a girls trips, or they might be at networking events or something like that. So I highly urge men that's still out here looking that they need to actually go where the women are. And the same thing with women too. We need to go where the men are. Men are at sporting events. You know, it's not until I got into my 30s did I, you know, come across people that said, you know, Brandi, are you even into sports? I don't even fool with sports on you know, on that level to a certain degree, but I do now. Go Cubs. God damn it. Excuse my language, but I mean, seriously, you have to move away from those things that are negative triggers. And I stay away from dating men out of the club these days simply because the one thing that's there in the club is a whole bunch of liquor and a whole bunch of relaxed inhibitions. People ain't thinking correctly, and things can happen that you might regret the next day. So stop looking for that mate in the club. They not there.
First to
That's
say
all I gotta say
Tatiana
about that.
or low hanging fruit, fellas.
Exactly. Them Tatiana, that's easy to get. They and shit. They not even low hanging. They on the floor. They already at the bottom of the tree. They just laying there, waiting for you to scoop them up. They okay riding around smoking and drinking with you. You ain't gotta take them on no date or nothing like that. And I'm not saying that money is attached to it, but to me, it's a and a date don't necessarily mean you gotta pay a whole bunch. You could go and get some ice cream and chill at the park, you know, or you can go. I mean, it's museums and stuff like that. They have free days at museums and just walk around and get to know each other. Take it old school. I know all of y'all you was born in the 80s. I know you used to hang out at the mall, find a mall to meet up at and just do some window shopping. It's plenty of things to do that's free and to get to know somebody. But no,
Yeah.
folks want to go for the low hanging fruit where they don't have to do no work to get a woman out that's worth her time. You know what I mean? Crystal, right? Groupon, y'all better go do some iFly or some soul spinning cycle class or something like that. I mean, it's just things that we can be out here doing. And a lot of times people try to make a relationship out of laying up with each other, sleeping with each other, and then they want to build a relationship around fucking. Excuse my language, but then they want to have a relationship. Now y'all in love after y'all done had sex. No, y'all just had sex. You know, don't try to make it work with somebody after that. It's different if you got to know that person and you all have expressed feelings for one another before the sex got involved. Then it's like, okay, now I can see. But even with that, before y'all had sex and you gave that person time, you got to see their inconsistencies and stuff first. You just wanted the cookie, or you just wanted that meat, that beef cake real quick, sister. And sometimes you willing to just go ahead and turn a blind eye to him skipping out on dates and stuff like that and being inconsistent, not answering his phone and shit at night and then turning around. You just want that beefcake, but don't try to make a relationship out of it because he's still not gonna answer his phone at 9:30, girl. That's just what that is.
Yeah, like I said, you can't build
Yeah,
nothing when
right.
your house is
Roger
made
say
out
they love to
of
hide
sand,
behind.
quicksand. Oh, what up, Bishop?
The relationship does get stale building it around sex. Look, I'm not no stranger to that. I've done that before too. Thinking that it can make, you can have somebody
Not
and that
you.
you try to get to. No, I ain't perfect. That's the reason why I'm able to speak on all of this stuff because trust me when I tell
Not
you, I
you.
am no angel. I'm not gonna sit here and be the one to just act like I'm high and mighty and perfect and stuff like that. I done did some Tatiana
Uh,
stuff in
uh,
my past life too, but the thing
uh.
of it is that I grew up and I learned from my experiences and I had to grow and I had to understand it. For a lot of times it just comes from not knowing what you really want. These days, man, I'm easily able to cut off a man because I know what I want now. And I know if
Yeah.
he's not up to par, then we don't have no dealings with each other. It ends here. you know. But I had to get
Uh,
there. I had to go through some things to get to some things. If that makes sense.
yeah, I do.
You know, so I say
Yeah,
to the younger generation, don't give up on love. You know, I think that there's plenty of good folks out here. Folks just still trying to learn their way.
yeah. But yeah,
I
got
don't
anything
think
else to
the
say?
future generation is doomed. I don't think I hear people say they think the future generation is doomed. I don't think they doomed. I think that after stormy days come sunshine and vice versa. So we just have to keep going. That's all I got to say. That's all I got, JC. It's been amazing. I like this little setup you got going on with your everyday thoughts. I have everyday thoughts too, but I just keep them to
Hey.
myself until somebody asks me. I
Hey,
appreciate what you do, man.
hey,
Yeah, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you having me here on this live chat. So this has been awesome. Let's do this again sometime, okay?
well, yeah, definitely. I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate anybody to come on. Like I said, Everyday Thoughts JC. We're gonna top it up about anything, we're gonna whatever it is, we're gonna let me know. We're gonna chop it up, have a good discussion, debate. It don't matter, that's gonna make it unique. Judge free zone, it's whatever. Don't care about your
Mm-hmm.
religion, ethnic, your race, it's whatever, whatever your thoughts are, judge free zone. But anyway, appreciate you for joining me, and thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all check out my channel, Everyday
Yep.
Thoughts JC. Check out me for more content. Anybody that want to join me, let me know. Y'all already know where to find me at, and like I said, appreciate everybody
And
for tuning in. Make sure y'all share this video, and appreciate
yeah.
everybody to come on.
Yeah,
Bless
make sure
everybody
you
tonight.
all support my boy JC, man. Go check his YouTubes out. He has very thought provoking information. I definitely have been watching, even though you probably don't know whether I'm watching or not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have
See,
agreed to
y'all be
come on
trying to
here.
see. She be doing stuff underneath the scene though, but I be watching though.
But you guys can check me out on Saturdays. BB Speaks comes on. You got to download the app. It's supportdistrictradio.com. And I'm on My Radio Chicago on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you, Pearlisha. Thank you, some of you all that tuned in and just was chiming in. I really appreciate that level of support, man. It's fun when folks chime in. They got some stuff. You keep it live on here, JC. I gotta tell you, your group is live, so it's live. So good night,
I
everybody.
said, they come with it. They don't like your shit. They let you know, but everybody come in respectful. I like
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful night, and until next time.
All right, y'all. Peace.